All right. Good afternoon and welcome, lovely people of the internet and the world. Please, if you guys can actually hear me, would you please tell me so in the chat? So if you can hear me, please just say yes in the chat, and I know that things are okay. And nobody is answering yet. Yes. Here we go. All right, you guys can hear me. That is great. Very good. So, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday to my class. So let's see, who do we have in the chat today? A lot of people in the chat that I can see, which is always fantastic. I love it when there's a lot of you in there. So who do we have? Of course, we have the usual suspects, right? We have Julian, we have Jacqueline, we have Judith. I think I saw Judith's name somewhere in there. We have Bisma. We have a lot of the usual people that come here every week. Thank you guys for coming so much. And I also see a couple of new faces. So I see Mu'ez and Abbas and Kevin, and there, I think that's Makawi Tube. Mac Tyler K. We have Barna, we have Liz, we have Pilar. Welcome, Pilar. Thank you for coming back to the class. We have Felipe, we have Waddington. We have tons of people today. So very good to see all you guys. This is it's great to have you. Thank you for coming to the class. Jalal also is here. Hello, Jalal. Welcome to the class. Jalal is from Germany, which is cool. Kashnath is also back in the chat. Patricia made it, and Julian made it today. And so let's see who's going to win movie quote of the week this week. And let's check that out later. Mu'ez, he says, I am always here. Oh, really? I don't remember seeing your name last time, Mu'ez. Were you here last week? Well, I meant in my class. I don't remember seeing you in my class. Waira is also here from Peru. Hello, Waira. Very nice of you to come to the class. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Garima is also here. Kantaria. Afa is also back. We have a lot of you in the chat today. So thank you so much, guys, for coming and spending this time with me. For those of you who don't know, or if this is your first time in my class, my name is Karim, and I am I teach English as a second language here at Canadian College of English Language, and I also teach a couple of college courses in college. So I've been doing this for about 6 years now here at CCEL, and Makawi says, you have spelled my name beautifully. I think you mean I pronounced your name beautifully, because I did not write anything, right? I just said it. So yeah, I pronounced your name. Well, thank you, Makawi. Karim. Yes, Karim is also here in the class. Yes, you are. Fan also is here. Welcome, and thank you for coming. So as I said, my name is Karim. I've been working here for about 6 years now, and I've been using Smrt for the same amount of time. And I really enjoy using Smrt, which is the reason why when they came and talked to me about doing these streams, I was very excited to do it. And I do actually. I love doing this every week with you guys. I have a lot of fun, and I really actually enjoy coming and hanging out with you. So thank you for that. All right, so let me say the things that I have to say before we start. So I have my coffee and I'm ready. Everything is good. Today, by the way, is the 22nd of November 2017. Fatma, hello Fatma, and welcome to the class. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it very much. Thanks a lot. All right, so here we go, you guys. So the things that I need to say first before we start today's lesson. Remember, you are watching me right now on Smrt English, and this is where I'm going to be doing the live streaming classes, and you can watch my classes later on this same channel. Please, if you have not already done so, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And I just noticed that you guys can't see the screen. So, so give me a second and let me show you the screen. And boom. There we go. Now you can see it. All right, so remember, you're watching this on Smrt English, and if you have not done so, please subscribe. Please hit that bell button so you guys can know when the new videos are coming out. So you can see all the new videos that are going to come out at the bottom here. And if you subscribe and hit the bell button, you will get some notifications about when the videos are coming out. Julian is saying that he can't see the screen. You should be able to see it, Julian. So just try to refresh the page. You should be able to see it now. Ahmad, hello Ahmad. Very nice of you to come to the class. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. It's now on. All right, great. All of you can see it. Oh, Rosa's in the class. Thank you, Rosa, for coming as usual. I appreciate it very, very much. So on the Smrt page, you guys, you can see all the classes that are coming up next. So I noticed today some people were asking, I think, in the Facebook group, is Sean having a class this week? And yes, you can see that Sean has a class coming up on the 24th, right? So 2 days from now on Friday. So like I said, if you subscribe and if you hit that bell button, you will know, right? You will get notifications and you will find out when do we have, when do we have classes. Also, on the Smrt English channel, you can find, if you go down a little bit, you will see Sean's face, and then you will see my face. So please click on my face, and that will take you to my Smrt English channel, right? So Smrt English with Karim, you can find my channel over there. The live streaming lessons that I do right now are not going to be there, but you can find other videos. So I do other videos every now and then, for example, like phrases with Karim. So they're very short, sort of 1 minute videos, maybe 2 minutes maximum. I give you some phrases and you guys guess what they mean, right? Or I have some other series or group of videos that I make, and they're called Vancouver Out and About, right? So I just show you little videos of Vancouver when I'm walking and when I'm doing things like that. And yes, listen to Julian in the chat, please. You have to subscribe to my channel, right? For love. That's I like that, Julian. Subscribe for love. That's a good motto. I like that. So yes, please don't forget, subscribe to my channel also, because our mission, if you join my tribe, our mission is to beat Sean's subscriber number. So you guys can see right now that Sean is winning at the moment. Right, so Sean is 665 subscribers, and you guys have been doing a great job because we jumped and we are at 470, which is fantastic. I just want to beat Sean, guys, right? So let's beat Sean's subscriber number, and then I'll be happy, and then it's okay, and then he can go back up again. But I want to beat him just because I promised him that I would. So I want to keep my promise. So help me, you guys, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, one more thing. If I also have another channel on YouTube, and this is my personal channel. So if you guys like food and you enjoy eating, please come check me out on my Food AF channel, and it's called Food AF. So if you just type food space AF in YouTube, you should see the first thing that comes out is Food AF, right? So if you like cooking, I have this channel, and basically I just make some food, right? So I cook some food and I film it, and I also talk about some food and some other things. So if you like that sort of stuff, please, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys also go check me out over there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and you will get new videos. I try to make a new video every week, and I think there was a new video yesterday, so you guys can go check that out. This one, the fillet of fish. So you can go check that out on my Food AF channel, and I hope that you guys also enjoy it over there. If you have not also done so until now, I really suggest that you go and join our Facebook group. It's on Facebook, obviously. Just go over there, and the group is called Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. Learn English on Facebook with Smrt, right? So just go over there. It's a really, really cool group. We have, I think we just broke 24,000 members. So it's a large group. There's a lot of people in there. Everybody's awesome. People like to help each other out and answer English-related questions. And me, Sean, and anybody else also, whenever we have time, we sort of go in there and we try to help you guys out, right? So please go join the Facebook group over there. It's a nice community, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And by the way, there's also a Food AF group, right? If you want to join that. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, these are the things that I had to say. And now let's get onto it. Julian is asking a very important question. Who won the movie quote for last week? So Ahmed is saying hello. Hello, Ahmed, and hello, Waleed. Welcome to the class, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Paolo, also it's good to see you, Paolo. Very nice to see you. Paolo, oh yes, that is true, Paolo. That is true. They actually, I was offered to do that class, but unfortunately it was in a time that I am not free. So it's not going to be me to do that thing in the Brazilian university. But yes, you're right. There should be a Smrt thing coming up soon in some kind of university in Brazil, right? But it's not going to be me. I'm sorry. I wanted to do it, but I really don't have the time. So I'm sorry about that. But you are still going to get a cool teacher. I think Kent is going to do it. I'm not sure. I'm not promising, but I think Kent might end up doing that. All right, so movie quote of the week last week. So you guys, let's see, where is it? So last week, so a few of you answered this, and I think the winner was Patricia. So I think the winner was Patricia. Let me just double check. Patricia, yes, Patricia won the movie quote of the week, right? So Julian was first, but Julian wrote the wrong movie name. Yes, you did, Julian. You did not write the correct movie name because you were too hasty. You just tried to go for speed, and it didn't work. So Patricia stole it, and Patricia is last week's movie quote winner. A virtual high five for a Patricia. Good job, Patricia. Very well done. All right. Jose says, Karim, you speak so fast in the Food AF channel. Yes, I do, because that's how I normally speak. Because, see, remember last week, I think somebody told me that I speak very fast here. And I told you, not really. I sometimes do it on purpose here. But I don't really speak that fast. I speak faster in real life. So, yeah, if you want to see how I actually speak, you can go and check me out on Food AF. But yeah, I try to speak in a moderate way here, and sometimes I speak fast, sometimes I slow things down, sometimes I break up the words, sometimes I make sure that I pronounce all the letters so you guys can hear what I'm saying, right? Which is normal for an English class at an intermediate level. So that's fine. Yes, Patricia, you did. You won the movie quote of the week last week, right? Which is a good job. So stay today till the end of the class, and I'm going to give you guys today's movie quote of the week. Okay, so having finished this very long introduction, let's actually see what we are doing today. So today, you guys remember last week we started talking about expressing necessity, right? So last week we talked about expressing necessity. We briefly introduced modal verbs. We talked about what modal verbs are. And we took a few of them last week, right? We did not talk about all of them. We talked about just a few of them. So we looked at can, we looked at must. We gave some other ways to say or to express necessity. And then we looked at must, have to, and have got to. And if you guys remember from last week, all of them have the same meaning, right? So all of them have the same meaning, but must usually, right, gives people the feeling that it's a little bit stronger, right? It's a little bit more important when you use must. But in reality, they all mean the same thing. Abdurrahim is in the class. Hello, Abdurrahim. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Pascal says, I can understand you perfectly. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. I try my best to speak in a clear way, Pascal, so thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And then we did some examples. We talked about lack of necessity, when it's not important, when it's not necessary to do something, right? And we talked about do not have to or have not got to. Remember, we said do not have to is more common. And then we talked about prohibition. Prohibition when you cannot do something, right? It's not allowed to do. So yeah, so using must in the negative, right, implies or expresses prohibition. And that's pretty much it. So that's what we talked about this last week. So this week, we are going to be talking about advice and suggestions, right? So again, we're not gonna take the rest of the modal verbs, but we are just going to be talking about advice and suggestions. How do we express when you want to give somebody advice, right? How do you express when you want to suggest something to someone? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So sorry about that. Oh man, that name is long. Let's see, what is that? That is Sardinian Heart. Sardinian Heart 86. Hello, Sardinian Heart 86. I hope that I'm saying your name correctly, and welcome to the class. Thank you. Okay, so let's actually begin, right? Because actually today there's a lot of stuff in this lesson. So let's get into it. Okay, you guys, let's do this. So, advice, when we want to express advice, first of all, what is advice, right? Advice is when you tell somebody what you think is the correct or the right thing to do, right? In your opinion, what do I think should happen, right? What do I think is correct? What do I think is the best, right? For any situation. Julian is saying, how are you feeling? Are you still sick? I'm not sick. I wouldn't say I'm sick, but the weather here has just been really crazy these days. So yeah, I'm not sick. It's just I have a little runny nose, right? But no, I don't really feel sick. I'm okay. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it, Julian. Thanks a lot. I think Julian is asking because a couple of weeks back I was sick and I had to postpone my lesson to Friday instead of Wednesday. So thank you for that. No, I'm okay. Right, so remember, advice is when you want to tell somebody what you think, in your opinion, is the best action to do, is the best thing to do, or is the right thing to do, right? So when we want to say that something, just like I explained, when we want to say that something is the right thing to do, then we use should. It is very commonly used to give advice or to give your opinion about something, right? So Abdurrahim is saying when you advise or give clarifications to someone about something he or she is struggling with. Yes, right? But it's not just only giving your opinion, right? It's giving your opinion about what they need to do or what the person you're talking to should do, right? So for example, if you ask me, hey, do you like the color of this car? And I say, yes, I love the color of the car. That's not advice, right? I told you my opinion, but it's not advice, right? Advice is when I tell you to do something, when I tell you what I think you should do, right? This is usually what advice is. So I hope that is clear. What? English only, please. Is somebody not speaking English? Yes, guys, please, if someone is not speaking English, please keep it in English, you guys, so that at least others know what you are saying and that everybody feels like we're part of the conversation, right? So please keep it in English. I will, or I would appreciate that. So here we go again. Let's take a look at some examples. I am hungry. Well, if you're hungry, you should eat something, right? I should eat something. So that is probably, what am I saying? I'm saying I'm hungry. What is the best thing to do right now? Or what is the thing that I need to do, or what is not need to? Because need to is must, right? Or have to, like we talked about last week. So, but if you are hungry, what's the best thing to do when you're hungry? Eat, right? So I should eat. You shouldn't go out without a coat. It's pretty cold. So again, the negative, you just add not, like we usually do in English to make anything negative. So you should not, or you shouldn't go out without a coat. Why? Because in my opinion, that's the best thing to do right now, because right now it is very cold. In question form, same thing. We can also use them to ask questions. So, should we invite Jack to the party? Should we invite Jack to the party? Right? So you can also ask for advice using the should, right? Should we ask Jack back to the party? Yes or no. I don't know what Jack did. Maybe he did something that you should not invite him back to the party for. but that's what it means, right? So you can also ask for advice using should. Okay, so let's talk about some more details. It is important to know, or important to realize. Sema, hello Sema, thank you for coming to the class. I appreciate it. Abdurrahim says, can we say that should can be used for prohibition? No, should is not for prohibition, right? So prohibition is like we talked about last week, right? So remember last week, if you missed it, please go watch last week's episode, and you'll see how we talk about prohibition, right? So you'll find that here in last week's episode, so you can watch it there. But should, yes, should is definitely to give advice, right? Should is for giving advice. Koi, hello Koi. Koi says he can't hear me. Maybe you need to refresh, or if somebody in the chat can tell him to refresh, please, that would be nice, because he can't hear me, so there's no point in me to tell him to refresh. He can't hear me. Karim is feeling under the weather. He shouldn't go outside without a coat. Yes, that is a very good. That's a very good sentence, Afa. Very well done. Can and should be the same? No, can and should are not the same, right? So can expresses ability, right, to do something. Should expresses what you think somebody should do, right? So let's just take a look, right? We'll go slowly and we'll go step by step, and it'll become clearer the more we go through the unit, okay? So remember, should is not as strong as must, right? So must is the strongest of the modal verbs. Should is not as strong as must, and it's also not as strong as have to or have got to, because these three have the same meaning, right? This is what we talked about last week, so it makes sense that it's not as strong as all three of them. Can you zoom in the screen a little bit? I will try. Oh, I can't zoom any more than this, so I hope that that is large enough. Okay, carrying on. So, you should help. If I say to you, you should help, well, I'm telling you what? I'm telling you it's a good idea if you help, or I'm telling you it's the right thing to do to help. If I say you must, I'm not really telling you what is the best thing to do or what's a good idea to do, right? It's almost like I'm telling you, this is important, this is necessary. If you do not do this, it's not going to be good, right? Okay, you guys can see it now. Very good. All right, great. Right, so one more time. If I say to you, you should help, all I'm saying when I say you should help is, look, in my opinion, I think the best thing to do is for you to help. In my opinion, I think that it's a good idea for you to help. If I say you must help, I'm not telling you it's a good idea. I'm telling you, no, this is the thing that you have to do, right? That's what's important. That's what's necessary. It's not really more of a choice, right? Unless, of course, you choose not to do it. But I'm telling you, it's must, right? It's not a should. It's not an advice. I'm telling you, this has to happen. Okay. Now, a lot of you will know also the word ought to, right? And if you remember, last week we talked about the modal verbs. We said that you cannot say to after modal verbs unless you use ought. Ought is the only modal verb that you can say to after. So, although it is not as popular, and this is true, it's not common to hear ought to, right? Not a lot of people will say that. Not many people say ought to. Most people, I would say 90 to 95% of people use should, right? So should is extremely, very, 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 very common, but ought to not so much, right? So ought to is not a very common way to express suggestion or advice, but it's you can, right? It's correct and it will work. It's just not very common. Abdurrahim says, it is as if you are giving an order when you use must. Yes, must can be used sometimes to give orders, right? You must do this right now. Yes, you definitely can, right? Very good. Okay, so one more time. Remember, ought to is the same meaning exactly as should. There's no difference. It's exactly the same. The only difference is it's just not very common, and you have to say to, right? So ought to, and only ought. That's the only modal verb that we say to after. Okay, so although not as popular, ought to can also be used to express advice and opinions. It has the same meaning as should, right? So exactly what I said. So for example, if we look at these two sentences, James should study harder. James ought to study harder. There's no difference in meaning, right? There's no sentence that is stronger or weaker or whatever, right? No, they are the same. They are exactly the same, right? So James should study harder. James ought to study harder. Both have the same meaning. You should look for a new hobby. You should look for a new hobby. You ought to look for a new hobby. You ought to look for a new hobby. Same meaning, exactly the same meaning, no difference whatsoever. Riara, I think that's your name. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, you guys. I am trying my best, but I think Riara Top. Hello, Riara Top. Can I call you RT? RT. I think there's no confusion if I say RT, right? I'm not pronouncing it wrong. But yes, welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. All right, carrying on. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but I can hear there's some noise outside the room, and I hope that you guys can't hear it. Oh, Abdurrahim is saying Cristiano Ronaldo ought to be more effective in the next matches. Yeah, that's a very good sentence. Very, very good sentence. That works. Now, if you notice the use of ought to in negative, right? So ought to in negative sentences and in questions is extremely rare in North American English, right? So you will almost not hear it, right? It's like I can't remember when was the last time that I heard somebody say ought to in the negative, right? So it's very, 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 very uncommon, right? Super, super uncommon. So it's not something that we regularly use when we talk, right? It's much more common to say should in the negative instead of ought to, right? We do not really say ought to. Okay, now in spoken English, native speakers often pronounce ought to as oughta, right? I oughta go clean up my room. I oughta go clean up my room. Oughta. I oughta go clean up my room. I oughta go clean up my room. And if you guys notice, as usual, usually the T becomes a D sound, right? So if you're speaking naturally and at your natural speed, most people will say ought to, right, as oughta. I oughta go. I really oughta go, right? I really oughta go. And that's usually the most common way that people say ought to, right? It's they don't really say ought and to. Some people do, of course, but it's much more common to hear oughta if somebody uses ought to, right? Because remember, should is more common, right? Should is more common than ought to. Okay, I had a big lunch. I had a big lunch. I ought to have just a salad for dinner. I had a big lunch, so because I had a big lunch, I oughta, right? I oughta have just a salad for dinner. I can say I should have, right? I should have just a salad for dinner. Remember, should, oughta, same thing. If you want to get a good seat at the cinema, for example, if you want to get a good seat, we oughta get there early. We oughta get there early. We should get there early, right? So always remember, oughta and should are the same, but should is much, much, much more common. Whoa, what happened? I lost my chat page. Where's the chat? Oh, there it is. Chat is back. No, Rosa. Rosa's asking questions. She's saying, so should not is the only negative form used. No, it's not the only negative form used. I'm just saying that ought to in the negative is very, very uncommon. Very, 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 very uncommon, right? Not a lot of people use it. Almost nobody uses it, right? So it's not common. Exactly. Makawi says it sounds too weird in the sentences, right? Yes, right. A lot of people feel that it sounds weird, and I don't know, I think that's why maybe people just don't use it very much, because it doesn't sound like it smooth, right? It doesn't sound like it flows when you say a sentence with ought to in the negative. But you can still hear that. Yes, but like I said, really, like unless I don't know, unless you are studying literature, you know, or you're a person in higher academics, and you're writing some kind of paper, and you want to be very fancy or something like that, people might say, people might use it, yeah. But it's just so uncommon. It's really not very, very common at all. And you can play a game if you like. If you guys watch any English shows or TVs or movies or anything, try to listen for ought to in the negative. You'll probably watch for years before you hear it. It's not very common. Ought not to. No, Walid is correct. Pilar, yes, Walid is correct. Ought not to. That's how we say the negative. Ought not to. All right, so far we've talked about should and we talked about ought to, right? So remember, should is the very common way of expressing advice or suggestions. It does not have the same meaning as must, have to, or have got to. It does not have the same meaning as can. It just means what is your opinion about the best action to do in this situation, right? That's all it is, right? So it's just suggestions or advice. Ought to has the same meaning, and if you guys remember from last week, we said that ought to is the only modal verb that you can say the word to after. All the other modal verbs, there's no to after them. Only ought to. That's the only exception. Okay. Now let's talk about had better. Now, if you want to give a meaning of suggestion or advice, but it's a little strong, right? Like you want the meaning to be a bit stronger than just, hey, this is my opinion, right? Then we use had better, right? So it says here, English speakers use had better. So for example, you'd better, and if you notice had, right? Usually it's very common to contract the had into the word that comes before it, right? So you had becomes you'd, right? You'd better take an umbrella today. You'd better take an umbrella today. You'd better take an umbrella today. It looks like it's going to rain. Summer, hey Summer. Oops, I'm late. Hello everybody. Hello Summer. Better late than never. So thank you for coming. Welcome to the class. All right, so you'd better take an umbrella today. It looks like it's going to rain. I'd better charge my phone before we go out. I'd better charge my phone before we go out. He'd better not spend too much money today. He's going to need some this weekend. Now, had better has an interesting way of being used. Usually, you would use had better to give an extra meaning that, hey, if you don't do what I am suggesting, what I'm advising you to do, if you don't do it, well, then there's going to be something bad that's going to happen, right? There's going to be something negative that results because you did not do the thing that I'm suggesting or the thing that I am advising you to do, right? So that's usually the extra meaning, right, that is added when you use had better. So for example, you guys had better study. Well, why? Because if you don't do it, what's the bad thing that's going to happen? You will fail, right? Or you will not pass your exam. So, oh yes, excellent. Walid says had better is for consequences, and that's a good way to explain it, right? So, if you don't do the advice that I'm telling you, well, then there's going to be consequences, and usually the consequences are negative. So let's see here. You'd better take an umbrella today. Why? Because I think it's going to rain really hard, and if you don't take the umbrella, well, you might get soaked, right? Or soaked is just a way to express that you're not just wet, you're extremely wet, right? You're so wet that your clothes sucked up all the water, right? You're soaked. Yes, Patricia says had better means to avoid bad consequences. Yes, right? Or for warnings by Abdurrahim says for warnings. Also, yes. You are suggesting, Rosa says you are suggesting to do something in order to avoid consequences. Also, yes, right? Mikawi says, like when your parents are trying to make you study, you'd better study for the SATs, or you'd better stop playing on your phone. Yes, right? So usually parents would say that you'd better stop doing this, or, right, there's going to be some kind of consequence, right? Like you might be grounded. Grounded means you're not allowed to go out or do the fun things that you enjoy to do, right? That's what grounded means. You're grounded, right? Your parents will say. So yes, very good. I think you guys completely get it, right? So that's fantastic. Had better is used only when talking about specific situations, right? So you guys, it should make sense if you guys understand that we use had better to show you that if you don't do this, something bad is going to happen. Then it makes sense, right, to use it in specific situations, not just for everything, because if you use it for everything, sometimes people might misunderstand. They might think that you are threatening them, right? You're telling them, hey, do this or I will be mad, or something bad is going to happen. So be careful when you use had better, right? You guys, be careful with it. Pascal is saying you had better don't eat too much. You had better not eat too much junk food. We say junk food, Pascal, not junky food. Although junky food sounds cool. I like how it sounds. But it's called junk food, right? We don't say junky food. Yes, right? Waleed says, and sometimes they omit had and just say better. It's like, you better do this. Yes, right? So in a bit more informal styles of talking, or as we say in colloquial language, right? Which is the daily living language that people use. Yes, some people do omit the had, right? So very good. But you should use it, right? So as English learners, right, just focus on learning the correct grammar first, and then learn how people mess it up, because that's what we do, right? We always we mess up the grammar, and then language changes. Makawi says the police officer is saying you'd better put your gun down. Yeah, that works. I had better work hard for the exam, Bisma. Yes, that's also a good example, because if you don't, what is the consequence? What's the negative consequence? There's a possibility or a chance that you will fail, right? So yes, very good. You guys are getting it, which is great. All right, so this is what we were talking about right now, right? It just says that when we use had better, it means there will be a danger or a problem, right? Or something, a consequence that's negative that's going to happen, right? So we already talked about that. We can very quickly look at some of the examples. So it's cold outside, you should wear a coat. It's cold outside, you oughta or you ought to wear a coat. It's a good idea to wear a coat. That's what it means, right? You're telling that person, I think it's a good idea to wear a coat, right? It's a little cold, right? I think it's a good idea. It's cold outside, you'd better wear a coat. Now, here, it has a much stronger meaning, because I'm telling you that, oh, it's really cold outside, you'd better wear a coat, right? Or when you go outside, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to feel great, or the weather is going to be too cold for you to enjoy what you're doing, right? So I hope you guys notice the difference in both of these sentences. Let's do one more to see the difference. I should hurry, right? I should hurry. It's like, oh, well, it's I think it's a good idea now for me to start hurrying, right? I'd better hurry. I'd better hurry means what? Oh my God, right? Something, I'm probably, right, very close to the time that I need to be somewhere. And if I don't hurry now, there's a very high chance that I will be late. and probably that's not going to be a good thing, right, if I'm late. So I hope the difference between the two sentences when we say should or oughta and had better is clear. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. And you guys in the chat, I'd better wake up in the middle of the night on Black on Black Friday. Yes. Okay. Yep. I see the negative consequences of not doing that. I'd better wake up early tomorrow morning if I want to catch the 7 o'clock train. Yes, that is a good sentence, Rosa. Very well done. Just be careful with wake. With wake, right? You wrote week, right? So wake, W-A-K-E. That's the word that you want. Abdurrahim says it sounds like a turning point. That means if you don't do this, well, then this will happen. Yes, but always remember the this will happen is something bad, right? It's something negative. It's something that's not a wanted result, right? So yes, right? If that's what you mean, yes, that's a good way also to describe it. Yes, Garima, you are also correct. Hom, good morning from Cambodia. Cambodia. Good morning, Hom. Thank you very much for joining the class. Very nice to have a person from Cambodia. Cool. All right, awesome sauce. Let's carry on. I had better not miss the class. Yes, I'd better not drink much. I better not drink much if I don't have a hangover. That's not clear, Patricia. I don't get what you are trying to say. I think you mean I'd better not drink. I'd better not drink a lot, so I don't have a hangover. Not if I don't, right? It's so you don't have a hangover. I think is that what you're trying to say? I hope that that's what you meant. All right, and as you can see, this is actually the exact thing that Walid was talking about earlier. So often, very often in spoken English, people just say better without had or d, right? And if you notice, we said in spoken English, right? So the colloquial language, right? The daily living language, right? So yes. So he had better call me soon. He better call me soon, right? Yes, very, very common to say that. You had better not do that. You better not do that, right? So yeah, you guys get it. Karim is saying, last night I could not call to my friend. I could not, you don't need to, Karim. So last night I could not call my friend. And I had better call him now or else he will get angry with me. Yes, right? So yes, this is a situation where you would use had better. Yes, you better not argue with your boss. Yes, you guys are nailing it. Very, very good. You guys, I think you get it, which is great. Okay. One more thing that we just want to talk about: had better is not common in question forms, and I would say it's almost non-existent, or that means it almost doesn't exist, right? It's again very, very, very rare. I don't remember anybody using it in recent years, right? It's just not common. Nobody uses that these days. And you can see that nobody uses it because we just mentioned it, but we didn't talk about it, right? So there's no examples, there's no form, there's nothing, because it's just really uncommon, very, very uncommon. Okay, so I hope everyone's okay so far. Let's carry on. Should have and your past participle. So should have and your past participle. I should have done that. I should have done that. That means what? If you say I should have done it, that very simply means you did not do it, right? So you're saying to yourself, I regret that I did not do something, right? Why didn't I do it, right? I should have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Of course, the negative is simple. Just add not, as you guys know. Yes, so some of you saying it is like you are regretting it. Should have means regrets. I wish that I did it. It was better for me if I... Yes, great, right? All of you are getting it. Excellent. I'd better not keep postponing the visit to the doctor. Yes, that's a good example, Rosa. Very well done. Had I better to call you? Yeah, see, Judith. It's just, it sounds very unnatural, right? It's not smooth, even though it's correct. But it's just people don't use it. I think people just don't like the way that it sounds anymore. So we stopped using it. I shouldn't have gone louder with my mother. I shouldn't have gotten. I shouldn't have gotten louder with my mother. Louder with my mother. I think you want to say I shouldn't have raised my voice to my mother. I shouldn't have raised my voice to my mother. I should have studied English before to live abroad. Yes, what you want to say is you want to live abroad at some point in the future, or before living abroad if you are doing it right now, right? I shouldn't have drunk so much last night. I am sick now. Yes, very good. You guys are doing great. Okay, so one more time. Should plus your past participle, right? I should have done that means, well, I didn't do it. I wish I did. Regret, right? Just like you guys were saying. I shouldn't have done that. Well, it's the opposite, right? So I shouldn't have done that means I did it and I'm not happy that I did it, right? I wish that I didn't. Very good. So just a few more examples. I'm so hungry. I really should have eaten breakfast this morning. I'm so hungry because I didn't, right? So I'm saying I should have, right? I regret that I did not. I really should have eaten breakfast this morning. Tushara, hello Tushara, welcome to the class. He said, I shouldn't have missed Karim's class last week. Yes, you shouldn't have missed my class last week, but it's okay. I forgive you. I'm not mad. As long as you watched it after, okay? That should be fine. Afa is asking a good question. Should I pronounce should have like should have? Yes, right? So that's how we pronounce this. So I should have becomes I should have eaten breakfast this morning. You shouldn't have said that. Now she's crying, right? You probably said something mean or rude or whatever, right? So you shouldn't have said that. Now she's crying. This computer is garbage. I really shouldn't have bought it, right? This computer is garbage. I really shouldn't have bought it. Shoulda, yes. Shoulda is the sort of contracted way of saying it. That's fast. I should have gone to at least one of Michael Jackson's concerts. One of concerts. One of many, right? So be careful with that. When you say I should have gone to at least one of, then of what has to be, the what has to be plural, right? So I should have gone to at least one of Michael Jackson's concerts before he died. Karam is saying, please give a look on my example. Where's your example, Karam? Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Karam's example. Last month, my friend left his job and he could not get a new job till now. Okay. So he said to me, I should not have left my old job until I found a new job. Yes, that's a very good example, Karam. Yep, that's it. Very good. Well done. Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, that's a perfect situation, right? That you described where you use that. So yeah, that's a good example. Okay, so like you guys were actually asking, you always ask before I say the thing, right? If you guys just wait a few seconds, usually I will explain what you guys are going to ask about. All right, so carrying on. Should have is often pronounced shoulda, right? So like you guys were saying, shoulda or should've by native English speakers, right? Shouldn't have is often reduced to I shouldn't or shouldn't have. This one's a little bit weird for people who are learning the language, right? The negative version of saying shouldn't have becomes a little bit annoying, but you can practice it if you want, right? So remember, the negative version, right, of contracting shouldn't have is shouldna. So I shouldna. So you sort of go sh, and then there's a little vibration that goes shouldna, right? It's a little bit weird, but yeah, that's how you say that. I shouldn't have done that. Man, I shouldn't have done that, right? Or I shouldn't have. Man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. So I should have studied tonight becomes I shoulda studied last night, or I should have studied last night. I'm cold. I should have brought a sweater becomes I am cold. I shoulda brought a sweater. I'm cold. I should have brought a sweater. I'm cold. I should have brought a sweater. I shouldn't have eaten so much food for lunch. I shouldn't have eaten so much food for lunch. I shouldn't have eaten, right? Or I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have eaten so much food for lunch. Okay. It is also possible, right? It's possible to describe the past with ought not to have plus your past participle. And oh, this is not a again, it's just not common, right? It's not common. It's a bit, it's like it's complicated even for native speakers that they don't like it so much, so they don't use it so much, right? So yeah, so ought not to have plus your past participle. But yeah, 100%, it's way more common to use should, right? So we're not going to talk too much about that one. All right, suggestions now, right? So we've been talking so far, right, about advice. So let's talk a little bit now about suggestions. Okay, so we're going to be talking about let's and why don't, right? Let's and why don't. Let's and why don't. Karim, in which situation should we say needless to say? I think there was somebody asking about the same question in the Facebook group, and I answered it. I don't know if that was you, Karim, or not. No, I don't think that was you. But yeah, if you go to the Facebook group, I actually answered that question last week. Look, I don't want to talk about it now, right? I don't want to mix things that I'm talking about in the class because I don't want to confuse people. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to talk about needless to say right now. You can go check out the Facebook group. I answered the question, or you can ask it, right? So just go to the Facebook group and ask it, or later today, if you want, after the video is finished, you can write it. You can write it in the comment section under the video, and I'll answer your question. But I don't want to mix the explanation in other things that I'm explaining in class. I'm sorry, I dropped my pen. Ugh. Okay, got it. All right, so let's carry on. So let's and why don't, right? So to make suggestions, English speakers often use let's, which is let us, or let's not in the negative, and why don't. So, and you guys are already giving me examples in the chat. All right, so let's take a look at some examples here, right? So it says, let's get a coffee. Let's get a coffee. Somebody in the chat says, let's go to the party. Let's go to the party. Let's go shopping, right? So similar to let's go to the party. Let's go shopping. Let's take a break. Some of you are writing, let's take a break. Let's not do anything tonight. I'm tired. Let's not do anything tonight. I'm tired, right? Why don't we go see a movie? Why don't we get a coffee? Why don't we go shopping? Why don't we eat out tonight? Why don't you ask the teacher for help? Why don't I call you when I am finished, right? So these are just these are just suggestions, right? These are just suggestions, right? So when you're saying, hey, what do you think if we do this? Isn't this good or isn't this better? Why don't we do that, right? That's basically what you're saying, right? So I think all of you are getting it because all of you are writing examples in the chat and your examples are all correct. So so I think that's pretty clear, right? You're just giving your opinion to somebody about, hey, why isn't it better if we do this, right? Why don't we do that, right? So it's a suggestion, right? So let's get a coffee, let's go shopping, let's not do anything tonight, right? Why don't we do this? Shall is the next word. So I just remember somebody, I think last week, was asking shall was very British, and I said yes, it is. Shall is very British. But we also use shall for suggestions, right? So the modal verb shall can be used in questions with I or we to make or ask for suggestions, right? So to make or to ask for suggestions. Why don't we go out for dinner? Yes, that's a good example, Rosa. Shall I open the window? Shall I compare thee to a summer day? Yes, Yassine, that's a good example. A bit very Shakespearean, but that's a good example. Mikawi says, shall we? Yes, yep. Shall we is a very common thing to do. It's like, for example, shall we is like when you're saying somebody, so let's begin this, right? Let's start, right? Let's do this now, right? So shall we? And then usually the answer is yes, right? Or we shall, right? Actually the negative for shall is shan't, right? We shan't. So we shall and we shan't. All right, so let's take a look. Shall I help you with your bags? Shall I help you with your bags? Right? Shall we have spaghetti for dinner tonight? Shall we leave soon? What shall we do this weekend, right? So what shall we do about the problem? The usage is old-fashioned. Yeah, a little bit, I would say. I would say shall is a bit more old-fashioned. Yeah. I would say yeah. I would say it was more common before. All right, carrying on. Could and should. So we use could to make suggestions or to discuss possibilities, right? One more time. We use could. Why? To make suggestions. Again, right? It's just another way, right? To make suggestions. Or also to discuss possibilities, right? Things that can happen, right? So for example, what shall we do tomorrow? What shall we do tomorrow? Why don't we go to the beach? Let's go to the beach. Shall we go to the beach? Right? All of these are possible answers. We could go to the beach, right? We could go to the beach. So remember I said or to discuss possibilities, right? Or to discuss possibilities, right? So we could go to the beach. We could go to the beach. What are you saying? You're saying, well, one possibility is to go to the beach. This is basically what you're saying when you say, well, we could go to the beach, right? That means, well, one possibility is to go to the beach. What should we do? Let's look at the other example. What should we do for James's birthday, right? What should we do for James's birthday? I was so angry I could have killed her. We could see Food AF channel and make a delicious meal. We could see Food AF. Yeah, yes, you could, Patricia. That's a good example. Okay, what should we do for James's birthday? Well, why don't we have a surprise party? Why don't we have a surprise party? Like it's like you're giving an idea. Hey, here's my idea. What do you think about this, right? Why don't we have a surprise party? Let's have a surprise party. Shall we have a surprise party? We could have a surprise party. All of them are pretty much good answers for that question. Should can be used for suggestions, but it has a stronger meaning, right? So should is used for suggestions, but it has a little bit of a stronger meaning. So, for example, what shall we do tonight? We could go to the beach, right? So remember, well, one possibility, or one idea is to go to the beach. We should go to the beach, right? So now it's a suggestion, but you're trying to say that, oh, I really think we should do this, right? This is what I really want to do, right? Or why don't you really consider this suggestion, right? So you're just adding a little emphasis, right? You're trying to emphasize, or you're trying to highlight, right, what you want to do. Pascal, oh, okay. Pascal's got to go to sleep. It's 1 a.m. in Italy. So yes, definitely, Pascal, I will not keep you any longer. I appreciate that you actually came and spent some time. So thank you so much for that. And I hope you watch the lesson later. But thank you. I appreciate your time, Pascal. Thank you so much. All right. So remember, right? Should is the same thing. It's just all you are doing is you're just adding a little bit more emphasis, right? You're trying to highlight that, hey, this is really a good idea. Why don't we do this, right? That's what you're saying. So what should we do for James's birthday? We should have a surprise party, right? It's not the same as we could have a surprise party. Well, we could. That means you're just giving ideas. Hey, this is an idea. We could do this, right? This is just one idea from many, right? Or we should have a surprise party, right? That means, oh, this is a good idea, and I think this is a good idea, right? That's usually the difference. Makawi says it's 2 in Egypt. Yes. That's also very late, so I appreciate you, Makawi, for staying up and watching the episode this week. And that's it. So that's pretty much it for this week, you guys. VJ says it's 5:30 in India. Morning, everyone. Whoa, good morning, VJ. That is way too early. I think I said this before, but I don't think I will wake up at 5:30 for anything. There's nothing that I would wake up to at 5:30 in the morning. It's just, I can't do that. I am not a morning person. Jacqueline's got to go too. No worries. Thank you, Jacqueline, for staying so far. Bisma says it's 5 a.m. in Pakistan. I have a lot of people that are watching very, very late here, or very, very early, which means a lot to me, you guys. Thank you. I really appreciate that, for you guys to stay here and watch me talk about English grammar. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. So that's it, you guys. We're done for today. And just a very, very quick recap. And then I will give you guys some exercises to do. I'll give you guys some exercises after that. I'll wrap up the video and I will give you the movie quote of the week and I will let you fly away. Thank you so much, Rosa. Rosa says, I like staying up late and watch Karim's class. Thank you so much. That you're inflating my ego right now, and I need to go down a bit. Karim, Bisma, oh no, okay. Karim, could you give us a lesson about the schwa symbol next time? Well, I don't know. I don't really do the pronunciation. Like I haven't done a pronunciation lesson. I usually just do grammar or vocabulary stuff. Boom, 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 boom. But I will try to see. I'll try to see if somebody does that sort of stuff. So yeah. Silvio says, I am learning muchas with you. I guess muchas means a lot, like muchas gracias, right? Muchas means a lot. I hope I'm correct, and I'm not killing the language right now. But I think that's what it means. But thanks. You're welcome, Silvio. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for saying that. All right, very, very quick recap, you guys. It's already 4 o'clock, so let's go with this. So remember, we were talking about advice today. We talked about the word should, and we talked about the word ought to. And both of them are the same, right? So should and ought to, both are the same. The only real difference is ought to is just not so common. Especially the negative, right? The negative form of ought to is really, 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 really uncommon, right? It's just not really used that much. But other than that, basically both of them are the same, right? We use them to express advice or what we think is the best thing to do, right? To someone else. Had better, right? Again, it's similar, right? You're telling somebody what you think they should do. The only difference is had better has a little extra meaning, right? And the extra meaning is, hey, if you don't do what I'm telling you to, well, there's going to be a negative or a bad or an unwanted consequence, right? Or the result is going to be something that you don't want, right? So that's had better. Had better. So that's why, guys, please, I always say this to my students, be careful when you use had better with people, right? Because some people, if they don't know that you don't know what it means, some people might just like, hey, why are you telling me that, right? So be careful with the way that you use had better. It's used usually to imply or to express to somebody that, hey, if you don't do this, something negative is going to happen, right? Or something bad or something unwanted is going to happen. We talked about the pronunciation, right? Differences for shoulda, shouldna, shouldn't've, all these contractions. I'll think about it, Afa, right? I'll think about it. I'll really, and I'm not just saying that. I mean it. I'll think about it, right? But my problem right now is time, right? My big problem right now really is time, right? So I explained this last week to everybody. I am doing 3 jobs right now, and I have one extra job that I do for free, which is my YouTube channel. So I'm super swamped right now. If you watch my YouTube channel, you should know what swamped means. That's a word that I used in the phrases with Karim. But yeah, so I'll try to think about it. It's just that because I need to do the lesson, right? I need to sit and create the lesson and plan it. And I really don't have time for that, which is why I like Smrt, because the lessons are here. I don't have to prepare them. Okay, so should have, remember, should have in the past participle. So I should have done that. I should have done. That means I didn't do it and I regret it. I shouldn't have done that. That means I did it or I did do it, but also I regret it, right? I wish that I did the opposite. So that's basically what you're saying when you use this. Suggestions, let's and why not, right? So just like we said, right? It's like when somebody's asking, hey, what should we do today? Let's go to the cinema, or let's go shopping, or why don't we go see a movie? Why don't we do this, right? So it's just a way of making suggestions, right? How about this? How about that, right? It's another way of saying how about, right? How about this? How about that? Shall, right? The modal verb shall, again, is used in questions with I or we to make or to ask for suggestions, right? Shall I help you with your bag, right? It's similar with can I help you with your bag, right? You're trying to be a little bit just formal or a bit polite. Shall we leave soon, right? What shall we do, and so on and so forth. Could and should, right? Remember, to discuss possibilities, right? So, and remember, the important part that we want to talk about here is to notice the difference when I say a possibility with could and when I say a possibility with should, right? So remember, when you say, for example, well, what should we do tomorrow night? And you say something like, well, we could go to that new restaurant that opened. What are you saying here? You're saying, well, one thing that we can do, or one possibility, right? A suggestion is to do this. If you say, again, same question, what should we do tomorrow night? If you say, well, oh, we should go to that new restaurant that opened up. Oh, we should go to that new restaurant that opened up. Again, it's a possibility, it's a suggestion for a possibility, but you are focusing, you're highlighting, you're emphasizing that, oh, this is really, really cool. Why don't we do this, right? Why don't we do that? I hope that is clear. So should is a much stronger meaning. And that is it. So let's do some exercises. Where are they? They're over here. Boom, 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 boom. So every week, of course, I have to do this. I don't know why. It always signs me out and I have to sign back in. All right, so am I the correct person? Yes. Karim live at Smrt. All right, cool. So here we go, you guys. I'm going to give you your own copy, so please make sure that you make your own copy so you guys can answer and type in it. Silvio, oh, thank you, Silvio. Thank you so much. Actually, you know, the truth, Silvio, is that when Julian came and talked to me the first time, he actually said, "Can you please teach twice a week?" And I told him, "Look, I can't. I really don't have the time. You guys have no idea how busy or crazy busy my life is right now. Right? I'm constantly doing something. I can never just sit and do nothing, right? I wish I could just sit and do nothing at least for one day, but I can't. So I'm sorry, I really can't. The only time I can do it right now is just once a week, and it's this time slot, right? So at Wednesday at 3. So I'm sorry, but I really wish I could, because I really enjoy it. By the way, I really have fun. I really like doing this stream. It's a lot of fun for me, and I really enjoy it. But I'm sorry, I really can't do more than once a week. Okay, so what are we doing? Did I make a copy? Yes, I made a copy. So file. Let's change the sharing options. So go to advanced, change this to that, and say yes, and copy this. Okay, I am going to give you guys the link for this in the chat, so please make sure that you get it, open it up, and let's see what we are going to do. So and yes, you guys are getting it. I can see you starting to get into the document. Very good. Boom 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 boom. Okay. Let's see, which exercise should we do? Let's done. Oh, let's do number 2. All right, let's start with number 2, you guys. So number 2 says complete the sentences with the correct forms of should, shouldn't, had better, or had better not. Okay, so one more time: should, shouldn't, had better, or had better not. So try to look at the picture, try to look at the context in the sentence, and see which one is the best answer. And please listen to me so the chat doesn't go crazy and I can see all your answers. Let's just do the first, let's start with the first 4, right? So B, C, D, and E. All right, so B, C, D, and E. And I will see you guys in about, I think, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a good time. So let me disappear. And 2 minutes, you guys, and I'll be back. Okay. So let's see what you guys did. And oh, JB is in the chat. Hello, JB. Welcome and thanks for coming this week. All right, so let's see what you guys did, and pretty much all of you did a few things. Now, please pay attention because I'm going to talk about how the answer can change. Okay, so let's focus together. Okay, so the first one, it says the movie starts in 15 minutes. We something and hurry, right? We something and hurry. So a lot of people, I can see here, where's B? So many people said should. A lot of people said should. A lot of people said had better, right? Or ought to, right? Now, in my opinion, this is the kind of question where the answer depends, right? So the answer will depend and it will change on a few things. So I'll give you guys an example. Let's say, for example, because it's subjective, right? So 15 minutes, when I say 15 minutes, maybe that's a lot of time. If I'm standing, for example, if I'm standing very, very, very close, right, to the cinema, or maybe I am in the cinema, but I'm downstairs in the, I don't know, in the concession stand, or I'm standing just outside of the door, or something like that, right? If you are very, very close to the cinema and 15 minutes is not a lot of time, well, then I would say should, right? But if the cinema is not very close to where you are right now, and 15 minutes is not a lot of time, and you really, really, really need to hurry, then yes, I would say had better, right? So had better is an okay answer if you understand what I'm talking about, and should can also work depending on where you are, right? So I hope that makes sense when I say it depends on where you are. Abdurrahim says it's not the same exercise. What do you mean? What do you mean it's not the same exercise? Boom, 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 boom. I'm not sure what you mean, Abdurrahim. I said that we're going to do number 2. I said we're doing exercise 2 and the B, C, D, and E. Maybe you did not hear me, or you did a different exercise. But yeah, we're doing 2 for that. So I hope it's clear, you guys. I hope it's clear what I mean when I say that had better is not wrong, depending on where you are, right? How far away is the cinema, and is 15 minutes really enough time or not enough time, or more than enough time, right? So if it's more than enough time, I would not say had better. But if it's not enough time, then yes, I would say had better, right? Oh my God, we had better run, or we're not going to make it, right, in time. So I hope that is clear, right? I hope that makes sense to you guys, this explanation. C says, boom, 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 boom. C says, I didn't bring an umbrella. It something be raining. It something be raining. And let's see what you guys did for C. I hope, or sorry, I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't bring an umbrella. Where is it? Where's C? I can't see C. Okay, there we go. JB says had better not. Shouldn't. It shouldn't. No, shouldn't wouldn't work here. It could be raining. It had better not be raining. Had better not. Yes, actually, for this one, you guys, the answer is had better, right? So it had better, but not, right, in the negative. Why? Because think about it. What happened? What's the context here, right? You left. You already went out. And you did not bring your umbrella. You don't have the umbrella right now. So you're saying what? Oh my God, I didn't bring my umbrella. It had better not be raining, right? It had better not be raining. Because, well, if it is raining, I'm going to get soaked. because I did not bring my umbrella, right? So had better not, I would say for this one, that's the only correct answer. That's the one that you really want to say. It had better not be raining because I'm going to be in trouble if it does rain because I forgot my umbrella, right? I didn't bring it. I hope that is clear. D, you can borrow my phone, but you something drop it, right? You can borrow my phone, but you something drop it. And what do you guys say? Had better had better not. Okay, yep. You ought to see. You ought to see. Oh, sorry, Abdurrahim, you were answering the other question, the wrong one. Okay, okay. You ought to describe. You had better not drop it. Yes, very good. A couple of you are answering. You'd, very good. Rosa used the contracted form. You'd better not drop it. Shouldn't drop it. Okay. So again, I would say had better not, right? So in the negative, because especially now, right? Especially now, phones are expensive, right? It's crazy how expensive phones are, right? So I would say you had better not drop that phone because that's very, very expensive if it does fall down. So because of the context, right, of how expensive phones are, I would say had better not, right? Because yeah, phones are very, very expensive these days. If you drop one and break it, it's not like losing, I don't know, $50 or $100 or something, right? Phones are ridiculously expensive these days. How much was the last Apple phone that came out? $1,000 or something like that. It was insane. So Walid says, if you drop it, I'll kill you. Yeah, exactly, right? That's how a lot of people feel these days about their phones. Because they're so expensive, so expensive these days. All right, and I think E is the last one. So we something visit France one day, right? We something visit France one day. What are the options? Should and had better. Okay, yeah, so here I would say should, right? So there's no real reason to say had better, right? I mean, why, right? So most people in normal situations, right, will just say we should visit France one day, right? We should visit France one day, right? It would be nice if we visit France one day, is basically what you are saying, right? And a lot of you got that correct. JB, okay. I see what JB is saying. JB is saying, where is it? I think it's the one for the rain. All right, so JB is saying, actually, it's a good point. So JB is saying, I think it shouldn't be, right, here, it had better not be raining. He's saying it rather should be, it had better not rain, right? Not be raining. And I see why that might be confusing. But what I would say is, imagine this. Imagine imagine you are at work, right? So you're at work right now, and you went to work without your umbrella today, right? So I came to work and I forgot my umbrella at home. So I'm sitting at work before I leave, and I'm saying to my colleague or my coworker, I'm saying to them, hey, I didn't bring an umbrella today. It had better not be raining when I leave, right? So that's all you're saying. What you were saying here is, when I leave, it had better not be raining, right? So when I walk out of the door right now. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, and I can understand why you think it might be a bit weird for this one, but yeah, I hope my explanation makes it a little bit clearer. But you're not wrong. I'm not saying that what you said is wrong. I'm just explaining the context in this sentence, right? So this is why you would say something like it had better not be raining, right? So I hope that that's clear. No, Afa. I would say that that's more formal actually than informal. That last thing that you're asking about, I would say that that is more formal than informal. But yeah. So I don't know. Should we do one more, you guys? Do you want to do one more, or should I let you fly away for today? I'll do what you guys want. If you want to do one more set of exercises, we can do it. If you've had enough, I'll let you go. What else do we have here? Situations. Some people are saying I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Come on, come on, come on. One more. All right. More people are voting. Come on, you guys. Let's do this in a democratic way. If I get 5 people here that want to do it one more time, I'll do it one more time. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer. If you don't, then we won't do it. Anybody else? Anybody else want to do any more exercises, or is that it? Oh, Armando. Hello, Armando. Thank you for coming. I didn't see you there. Samar, one more. Pilar, yes, yeah. Oh, okay. Suddenly everybody's typing. Okay, all right. You guys want to do one more set of exercises? Let's do that. I don't know. Which one should we do? Oh, actually, this is interesting. I like this. So let's do this situational exercise. It had better not rain means it shouldn't rain in the future. Yes, Bisma. And it had better not be raining means it shouldn't be raining right now. Yeah, when I walk outside and open the door, I hope that it's not raining right now. Yes, that's very good. Very, very good. Hello, Armando. Thank you for coming to the class. You came at the very end, but I still appreciate you coming. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right, yeah, let's do this one. I like this exercise. Looks cool. Looks interesting. So number 3, you guys. Abdurrahim, are you still in the chat? If you are in the chat, we're doing exercise number 3. Yeah, don't go do another exercise somewhere else. It's number 3, okay? So what do you have to do? Read the situations and write sentences with had better not. Please read the instructions very, very carefully. Read the situations and write sentences with had better not, okay? Well, had better or had better not, right? Both of them, of course, whichever one makes sense for the context. So, for example, let's take the first one. Let's take a look at the first one together. Your friend Jessica called you 2 days ago, and she left a message. You haven't called her back, right? So Jessica called 2 days ago, and she left a message. You did not call her back. You are worried that she might get angry if you don't call her back soon. So what do you say to yourself? You say, oh, I had better call Jessica, or she's gonna get real angry at me, right? So I had better call Jessica. All right, so let's do that, you guys. Let's do just, I don't know, because there's going to be some reading in this. Let's do the first 2, right? So B and C, right? So let's do B and C. So read the situation and type in your sentence. And one more time, let me just disappear. So remember, B and C. I'll disappear, and see, this is the only time where I feel like I can do magic, right? So I stand here and I go, boom. Oh, so cool. See you in a bit, you guys. B and C.
aside from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's see what you guys did. And you guys are doing good. You're always doing good. You always do good. All right, let's see some of your answers. So B first. Let's do B first. So B says you are going hiking, right, with a friend. You will probably be gone all day. There will be nothing to eat where you are going or where you are going. You are worried that if you don't take anything to eat, you will get very hungry. So you say to yourself, and let's see. So some of you guys said, I had better take something to eat, right? So Hang said I had better take something to eat. I had better bring some food along by JB. I had better take something, I would say to eat by Bisma. I'd better buy some food before I go. That's also fine. I had better get some snacks. I had better get some snacks with, yep, that's fine. Summer, also very good. Boom, 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 boom. I had better make some food before I go. That's fine. That's also great. That works. Oh, Abdurrahim is leaving. You're welcome, Abdurrahim. You are very, very welcome. Have a good day, and I hope to see you next week, and at Food AF. Where else? I had better make boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you guys are doing great, and I think some of you even answered. Some of you added some things for the first one. Rosa said I'd better call Jessica and apologize to her for not calling. That's a very good sentence, Rosa. Yes, very, very good. That's pretty good. McCawi, I had better bring some food with me, or, and this is very, very good, excellent job. So McCawi says he answered the question in two different ways, right? So he said, I had better bring some food with me, which is perfect, nothing wrong with that. Or I had better not forget to bring some food with me. That's excellent. That's fantastic, right? That's yes. You basically said the same thing, but you said it in two different ways. So very well done, McCawi. Virtual high five for you. All right. So yes, right. So the answer is basically what most of you guys have been saying. So I had better take something to eat or anything similar, right, to that. The next one. Let's see. What does it say in the next one? So the next one says. See, you and your friend Ian are going to a nightclub. So you and Ian are going to a nightclub. You are not sure if you can pay for drinks inside the club with your credit card. You are worried that if you don't have cash, you will not be able to buy any drinks. So you say to Ian, I think Walid says, what? I'd better kill myself. I'd better kill myself. Because you can't, I'd better, but is that for C or is that something else? Oh, okay, sorry. Walid was asking, I thought you would kill yourself because you can't buy the drinks. That's why I thought it was funny. We'd better bring, so all right, so let's see. So most of you said we had better take cash. We had better take cash along with us. I would say we had better take some cash. It's much more natural to say it that way. We'd better take some cash along with us in case the nightclub doesn't accept Credit cards. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that's pretty much that's okay. Hey, very good. I had better get some cash. Makawi says yes, very good. We'd better to have some cash. Patricia says we'd better. I wouldn't. No, we don't say to. Remember, right? To is only after ought to, right? So we'd better get, right, some cash. We'd better get some cash without the to. I would say it that way. We'd better take some money. Yep, Felipe says that. Very good. Very, very good. Felipe, is that are you the Felipe that I know? I'm not sure if it's if that's you or not. But yeah, but welcome Felipe. Welcome to the class. I don't know if you are the Felipe that's in my mind or not, but if you are, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming. I wouldn't, but I don't know why you would be here though. You don't need English lessons. Yes, you can say money. Yeah, you can definitely say money. In the way that you wrote that example, you definitely can say money. I had better see guys, this is why I tell you don't answer more than the questions that we agree on, because now it's hard for me to find the ones that I want, because they're all over the place. Oh, Felipe says it's the first time. Oh, okay, well, thank you for coming, Felipe. I enjoy it very much, or I'm sorry, I mean I appreciate very much that you came to the class. Okay, so yes, most of you wrote this correctly, right? It's you need to use we had better get some cash, we had better get some money, we had better take some money along with us, we had better anything similar to that, right? Would be an acceptable answer. Judith says, Ian, you had better, not you better had, right? You had better. You'd better get your cash before we go gambling. I think that's what you want to say. Are you going gambling? I think you guys are just going to the club. It's just a club. Abdul Fattah Ali says, "This is my first time." Well, welcome, Abdul Fattah. I hope you're having a good time and learning, more importantly, right? Not just a good time. So I hope you're learning and having a good time. And thank you for coming to the class. I appreciate it. Judith says, we're in. Okay, Judith is just assuming that she is in Vegas. So yeah, okay, yeah. There's definitely gambling clubs in Vegas. They have those slot machines everywhere in Vegas, even in convenience stores. If you go into a small convenience store or a grocery store, even they have those slot machines everywhere. It's crazy. Afa says the class was useful. Very good, great. I'm very, very happy that you enjoyed the class, Afa. Mikawi says, how can I improve my vocabulary as fast as possible? Okay, so look, vocabulary is a tricky thing because a lot of people, like I always say this to my students in class. Like some students will come and say, hey, I'm trying to learn like 20 words a day. And honestly, in my opinion, that's insane. There's no way you're going to learn 20 vocabulary words a day, because 20 words a day, that's a lot of, that's 140 words a week. And I really doubt that all of these words are going to be used on a regular basis by you during that week. So if you really want to focus on improving your vocabulary, first of all, I suggest that you are very focused or very specific, right? The vocabulary that you want to learn, it should be clear what it is that you want. So for example, if you know that you talk about like what? You have to choose things that you talk about, right? So for example, if you talk about sports a lot, or if you talk about games, or things that you do on a daily basis, maybe you will ask somebody about the time every day, or maybe you always talk about something specific, or you ask about a specific food somewhere, or something like that, right? That's the kind of vocabulary I would focus on, right? So focus on vocabulary that you will actually use, right? Not force yourself to use it, no, but that you use, that you really use, right? So just, this is the hard part. The hard part is sitting down and trying to come up with a list of what are the things that I really use on a daily basis? What do I usually talk about? What are the things that I want to talk about? And that's it. Makawi says, I can memorize 100 words a day. Good, that's great. If you can really do that, that's fantastic. Flashcards are an excellent way to learn vocabulary. I usually find flashcards to be a very, very good way to do that. And it's even easier now because you can get a lot of free apps on your phone, both on Android or Apple devices, iOS devices, that have sort of a built. It's a flashcard style of app, right? So basically, a flashcard is when you have the word here and then the meaning in your language, right, on the other side, right? And you just keep going through as many flashcards as you can every single day. But the most the most important part of the advice, to be honest, because if otherwise, if you don't do it, it will never work, is consistency, right? So it doesn't matter how much time you spend every often, but what matters is that you do it regularly, right? So I would suggest that you spend at least, I don't know, like for example, 20 to 30 minutes a day is much better than 5 hours once a week, right? That doesn't work. The once a week and then you give your brain a break until you do it again, that's never good when you're trying to learn a language. So the best advice that I can give is just consistency, right? Don't take a break. There's no breaks when you're trying to learn language, right? It's not like, oh, I'm tired, I need a holiday. Well, no, you can't give your brain a holiday when you're learning a language. Consistency is key, right? So the more you do it, the better it is for your brain. My other suggestion is use or choose vocabulary that you use, right? That you will use in your daily language. Because if you don't use it, yeah, you'll remember it, but then you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 days and you don't use the word, and then your brain is just going to say, oh, we didn't use this word for a few days, it must not be important. Delete, and then it goes away, right? And you have to start again. So that's my advice for vocabulary, right? Choose vocabulary that is going to be part of your actual conversations on a daily basis, and consistency, right? Every single day, just a short amount of time, but daily, right? Much, much, much better than 5-10 hours once or twice a week. Yeah, definitely. TV shows and movies are very helpful. But TV and movie shows are much helpful for colloquial language, right? So the more natural, living, day-to-day language that native speakers use. Not for grammar rules and things like that. But it is definitely helpful and useful. Yes. Okay, so let's get to this. So I'll very quickly go through this. I'll give you guys the movie quote of the week, and I will let you go. I've been sitting here for 2 hours now. It was a long class today. Sorry about that. But yeah, so here we go. Somebody's asking, yeah, but yes, I am. I'm Egyptian. Yes, I am. Okay. So remember, Smart English, please, 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 if you have not yet, don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell button, because then you will know when are the new classes coming, right? Also, because we want to beat Sean's subscriber number, click on my face, right? It will take you to this other page which I'm on, and hit again the subscribe and the bell button, right? We want to beat Sean, you guys, so let's do this. And don't forget, watch me also on Food AF. I try to make an episode once a week. This is my personal cooking show on YouTube. So if you like food and you like to eat, please come watch me over there. And I don't teach English, but it's good listening practice, right? So I talk in English, so you guys can definitely do some listening practice over there. Abdul Fattah says, I'm learning Arabic. Oh, you're not Arabic. I assumed, I shouldn't assume, but I assumed you were Arabic because of your name, right? But yeah, that's interesting. Arabic is not so easy, isn't it, right? It's if it's not your first language, it's not an easy language to learn. But I commend you on trying. Oh, you're welcome. You guys are so welcome, right? So don't forget, go check me out over there. Also, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. It really helps me out a lot, right? Well, not financially, but it tells YouTube that, hey, people like this stuff. And then YouTube starts to show it some more, right? So I would definitely enjoy it. JB is asking, is your English better than your Arabic? Yes, I would say it is. Especially my written, right? My written Arabic, and I am not proud of this. I don't say this with pride. I say this with a lot of shame. But my written Arabic, my written Arabic is so bad. It's not even funny. All right, bye, Pilar. Thank you for coming to the class today, and I hope you have a good day. Facebook also, you guys, don't forget, learn English on Facebook with Smrt. We have a large group over there. We're more than 24,000 now, and the group is growing constantly every day, and it is awesome. So you guys can go over there if you have questions about English or grammar or things like that. And the community is really, really fantastic. Everybody likes to help each other out. And also Sean and I and anybody who's available when we're free, we also get in there and we try to answer your questions. Now, let's go to the movie quote of the week. There's more than one Smrt Facebook page. Well, yeah, there's a Smrt Facebook page, which is more just of, I guess it's where they advertise smart stuff and things like that. But learn English on Facebook with Smrt. This is the group where it's more active, right? So we have a lot of people asking questions all the time, asking for help with things like whatever, right? So like today's question, for example, how do I use needless to say, right? Somebody was asking the question needless to say. I answered it last week somewhere over here. But somebody was asking the same question. But yeah, so it's a nice place to sort of go ask a question. You'll have a lot of people that will give you input and they'll try to help you out. And that's it. And I also have Food AF on Facebook, so you guys can check me out over there. By the way, I just noticed that I didn't tell you what was the movie for last week. So the movie from last week was called Tropic Thunder, right? So that's the movie that we did last week, and that's the one that Patricia won, right? So Tropic Thunder, a super, super funny movie, very, very funny movie. I love this movie, and that quote was from this guy, Robert Downey Jr., who was my favorite character in the movie. It was awesome, right? You really should go and watch it. All right, so let's do movie quote of the week for this week, and I will let you guys go. And I hope you guys know this movie. Actually, you should guess. If you really know the movie, you should guess from the name in there, right? Because that's a big hint. So here we go. There's no voices for me to make this this week, especially that this person is a lady, and my lady voice is not that great, right? So I'm not going to be doing any voices this week. But here's how it goes, right? So this is a scene where they are standing somewhere in front of a window, and she's holding a card, right? So she's holding a card in her hand and she's putting it forward. And remember, you guys, don't answer in the chat. Please don't answer in the chat because the chat goes away after I close. Answer under the video after I finish, right? So under the video in the comment section after I finish. So there's two people standing. So L is the woman and K is the man. And they're standing and she's holding a card and she's showing it to this lady on the window and she's saying, Little Dallas Multipass. Man, I can never say that with a straight face. All right, one more time. Little Dallas Multipass. And then, he goes, yeah. And she's like, Multipass. And he's like, yeah, Multipass. She knows it's a Multipass. Little Dallas, this is my wife. So that's the quote or that from the scene in the movie. If you guys know what movie this is, please don't forget, answer in the comment section below. And that's been pretty much it. So let me go large. And there we go. So yeah, guys, don't answer in the chat. You guys never listen to me. Every week I say this, and there's always somebody who answers. Don't answer in the chat, you people. Leave it for the comment section, right? Let's build a little competition here. Don't answer here. But yeah. Oh, you guys are welcome. Everybody's saying thank you guys for coming. You guys are very, 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 very welcome. So yeah, so that's been it for this week. Once again, I sincerely thank you. I have a really good time doing these streams because of you guys. You guys make it awesome. You make me feel comfortable, and it's really, really nice. So thanks for that. Yeah, so until I see you guys next time, next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Vancouver time, don't forget that. I hope you guys all have a great morning, a great evening, and a great good night, wherever you are in the world. And let me see. Let's go 1, and then let's go